No, thank you so much. I think I'll open up for maybe one or two other questions, and then we'll do a round of responses from the speakers. Stephanie? We'll get you a microphone. It's coming.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Stephanie Ortaleva. I'm the president and legal director of Women Enabled International. And as some of you may know, we this April, published somewhat comprehensive talking points on an intersectional women's rights and disability rights approach to Zika. And if any of you are interested in reading those, you can find those on our website, womenenabled.org, and just search for Zika. But thank you so much to the government of Sweden. It's always heartening to hear a government that declares that it has a feminist human rights policy. And I hope that that spreads to the borders even of our own country, and perhaps our own Congress would be a great place to start. Living in a country which has neither ratified CEDAW nor the Disability Rights Treaty. I sometimes don't tell anyone I come from the United States. Thank you very much for doing this panel and for having some mention of the issues that confront disability, the intersections of disability and women's rights. Our organization works at that intersection. So a couple of things that I would strongly encourage. PAHO, which is an organization I admire very much, I would encourage that as you look at some of these ethical concerns, that you consider some of the ethical issues that relate to disability. I should say that Women Enabled, as a feminist disabled women's rights organization, strongly supports women's complete reproductive freedom, including the option to choose abortion when she determines that's what she needs. However, our societies going forward with a human rights approach must go beyond that to also look at not only service provision for disabled children who are experiencing the Zika syndrome, but also the human rights of those children as members of our society and our community. One of the points that I really took to heart from my sister Deborah is the point that this situation is most affecting women of little economic means and women who live in rural and somewhat isolated communities. And that amongst those women, of course, are disabled women who also might be very well affected by Zika and the infection of Zika and pregnancies. And I think it's also really important we've heard a little bit of a mention of the role of men, but I think in addition to ending gender-based violence, which often results in pregnancy, and the role of men in that, that the responsibility of men with respect to caretaking, there have been some reports of cases of men abandoning families where women bore a child with microcephaly or other Zika-affected syndrome. So men do need to step up to their responsibilities towards their families and their children. But I do thank all of you, and again, commendations to the government of Sweden and its feminist foreign policy. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.